picked them apart 7-1. So both these sides have a very good record on this map. Both of them are going to be put to the test, and the first ban, part of that wild aggressive attack, will be Ying being banned out.
No surprise there at all. That's what WYLDE love to do. They love to play operators like Ying and get in your face on a map like Chalet in particular. They're going to ban away the Knock, and I have a feeling we're going to go through a pretty unusual but makes a lot of sense ban phase. Knock is an operator that the Falcons love to use, so not too shocking that that's going to be removed from play early. WYLDE would rather not deal with it, especially how annoying it is. Valkyrie, again, not a massive shocker to me, at least. You don't want to deal with that extra information on a map like Chalet. That can be a nightmare. And now the question is, what will Falcons ban away? Drum roll, please.
And it will be Kaid, the hatches. So once again, no surprises on the defensive side. Like you said, not the normal bans on attack, but still no surprise based on the way both these teams play. And Knock, look, we speak to a couple of people. We know that behind the scenes in scrims and comp, Knock is a nightmare to play against just because of how much ground that you can take undetected.
And the fact, like, it's one of those operators that pops up and makes a problem, right? I mean, when you look at this it's an odd comparison. But there are teams in other national level competitions, similar to what WYLDE are in, that use operators like Nook incredibly well. Just pop up and find some absolute brilliance. And I'm really intrigued how this is going to match up. But with Valkyrie, I mean, these bans are pretty simplistic. WYLDE do rely a little bit on that Ying to get their initial entryways, but without that guy, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem for them.
Yeah, well, it will be bar games for the first one in this round in Chalet, and I cannot wait to see what the members of WYLDE are going to bring. The defensive setup, not any surprises here whatsoever. You usually defend this site from above. If anything, you only leave one player on that ground floor, and then down towards the basement and up on the top floors, well, you will have most of your presence. Now, WYLDE are a team that they will see that, and the way they play is, well, they'll go, if you're going to keep that many players off site, we're going to go directly to it. But Gisla spawning on the opposite side of the map to the rest of his team, and you know, you just want to keep people away in case you have spawn peaks, because that's something that Team Falcons like to do, but they didn't do it this round.
I mean, both these teams love the spawn peak. As Tristan said, spawn peaks will be effective. No one's going to be quite as good as the Gids, of course. But as I get into this one, right now I'm sitting this, I want to see how this first round plays out. That's my big thing right now for this matchup. Both these teams had very, very strong results against teams much higher on the international ladder to them. And this is going to be a litmus test. How's it going to go? Well, that's the very first pick for Jay. So, good start for the side of WYLDE, and they're going to be very aggressive in the face of Falcons now, and I think WYLDE cannot be nervous right now. They need to play with a little bit more confidence, and that opening pick might just give it to them.
Yeah, and that is exactly what they did. Jay, once again, same as the last map, getting the opening pick of the fixture. Corey now looking over from the balcony towards the library side, looking for the next one of those defenders. Mad Skills playing inside Piano, and a Joker will get the kill onto Kaneo as it's back to a 4v4 as we get around the halfway point in this round.
Minute 40 left to work with, and a Pogmat goes off. We hear that in the distance. Aces will get one to Jalad, but Jay is essentially down and out for the time being. Not going to be an easy revive either. Mad Skills might be tempted to try and get the finish, but he just needs to hold on. As Jay now becomes a problem to solve, and that's the Finker card as well. No instant revives, no boost of health, and a smoke grenade used to get that cross in the library, but I don't think that's going to deter Mad Skills too much. He's going to keep twisting and crawling, doing his best to pressure his 2v2k, and now he's all lined up, and he's looking to get in a very good position, and he's going to finish off the Finker. Couldn't find a second because of siege timing, but might be able to do so with a minute left in this round. He now becomes a massive problem for WYLDE.
Takes a hyper-aggressive position inside library, and Corey is looking to catch him out. Mad Skills between the bookshelves. Corey on one side. Are they able to take him out? Pushing through. Gunfire comes on out. Mad Skills takes some damage, and Gisla will jump in the window and shoot him on the back, giving WYLDE the numbers once more. But we're inside the final 35 seconds now. We're getting close to go time for WYLDE. Where will they decide to go? Are we going to see a hatch drop? Because it looks like Aces is thinking about it as things stand. He is the case, but oh kills. This is a vital fight for this round now as he holds blue stairs. Corey in position. Ace is wrapping the other side, but he's going to peek the wrong way, so he's not going to be able to assist his team, but he's pushing in through. He gets the kill, but oh kills takes down Corey, and Gisla's putting that diffuser down behind the chassis. throws that little bit of utility. The C4 blows, diffuser is down. 43 seconds away from Wild taking the lead. Or will it be less? But no, O-Kills gets the kill onto Aces. And it's all down to Gisela. But we've seen this before. Gisela can be hyper elusive. And these 1v1s post-plant. O-Kills hunting. Gisela's on top of the main stairs. 1 tick, 2 tick. And now here comes the hop, but he comes off it. And Gisela's forced to run down the stairs. And he gets the kill.
I was worried for Wild there. Very much worried for Wild. A little bit scary, a little bit close to the wire for that liking, but they get themselves the very first round in this matchup. They will be they will like that very, very much. Close though, very, very close. And we saw that the fact that Madskills decided to creep all the way through that smoke grenade to get a finish. You know the Fink is down, or you at least know someone's down. You didn't need to take that type of risk and gamble, but did so. Unfortunately, you got caught out by the vaulting by Gisela, and that is one of those key moments of the round that you can't say if you just held your position, you might have been able to have a little bit more of an impact on the round as a whole. But Wild get themselves the very first round here. Can Falcons bounce back, as it will be second bite of the cherry at the very same site.
Same site, and looking at the attacker setup, they're going to keep bringing those nades once again. On defense, Frost is there. Those pog mats had an impact in the last round, and I'm going to say that Wild will be a little bit more cautious when they jump through those windows this time around with it. But the thing is, that one in particular, beside the Finka, it's a very difficult position you put those attackers into, because sometimes you'll see them even use nades to clear, because you jump in and you shoot the mat, there's usually a player looking up through the hatch to take you out. So you have to choose your poison. And
the biggest thing right there is you need to try and clear security the best way possible. That's what's there. And we see a lot of teams using Maverick for that, where you get control of small snowmobile, and then you creep up, you use a Maverick torch to shoot to that bottom line and try and clear that position, meaning that you can then in synchronicity vault through the window. But Jake will get the opening pick on the Gelad, finds that with the nade, and this might be a very routine push for Wild. They've done it once before. If they can just keep away from that X factor of Falcons, they will have a very good time. He's on that drone gathering information, but look what we're seeing. Exactly what we're seeing. That's how they clear it. So they use that Maverick to clear security. They already know it's someone in there, so guess what? Ace will go up. No one's watching the vertical angle setup, and well, you ever want to see a freebie kill? There it is. So Aces gets that one, and it's going to be a 5 versus 3. And they might get a little bit more hairy as Aces decides, you know what? Site's free. In I go. Gisela gets one more on the queue. No killers, can't find any more, and well, it looks like we're on the cusp of a flawless round, and there it is. Gisela shuts it down. Wild make it 2 very quickly.
Have you ever seen a more Wild attack than that? That's just the way that they play. That is how they like to approach the site. And just bringing the Maverick solved so many problems that they came across in round 1.
I mean, that's a pretty simplistic way to do it, right? You know on this site that you're going to have to deal with that problem, right? You vault in that window, okay, you have to deal with people inside of library, inside of mezzanine, as well as the person below the hatch. So you can't do that, so you can't get control of library for free. Guess what you do? You go downstairs and you clear with the Maverick. That's what they done, and they done that. Probably even had good information with the drone inside of stock as well. So much better from the side of Wild. They get themselves those 2 rounds. Can Falcons fire back? And they went to the basement. A site that, well, isn't exactly loved inside of Tier 1 competition.
It definitely isn't, and what I'll be interested in is whether or not they reinforce that hatch, and they don't, which is, in my opinion, is the right thing to do in this situation, which does allow for the defenders to rotate on through later in the game as well. Those Mozzie pests being put out again to just deny that intel for Wild, and in the early game it's not going to do, but look at this whippet. In the repick phase, they have changed their complete attacker lineup.
That's what you need to do sometimes. Just swap it out. Get a brand new look of life, I will say. Corey on the Ossa. That's what I will be keeping my eyes peeled upon. What this actually will be, it sounds actually super boring, is this, right? You plonk a shield there, and Corey is just going to go away and do something else. Right? So that's going to be for the team that's going to be trying to open up this hatch and on this wall and put consistent pressure on the main section of the map, because, well, they're going to lock it down, and it looks like they might actually be thinking about going a little bit quick here. They've got a glass, and if this goes off, they're going in. No doubt about it, but there's the C4. It's a problem. Corey tries to dive himself on in, but there's Kaneo. He'll get it stuck down in a flurry of kills. The case goes down. Aces inside of blue. How have you managed to get there, son? But he's going to get a pick out of that one. O-Kill's caught out. Kaneo will find one, but he's now left alone outside the breach. 2 players of Falcons remain. Joker And Q. Now the nerves begin to set in. Try to calm down, but Kaneo will get one more. One more to find. 20 seconds. Joker taps away, but information there. But Kaneo is a long way away. If this stick arrives, he might get caught out. Joker needs to find something, and he's going to stick it. 3 ticks now in. Is Kaneo going to be there in time? No! He's caught out, and Joker's got time! Falcons get their very first round on Chalet, and it is a very narrow margin. 1 second in it, but they get it done.
Just an avid Joker enjoyer. Another big play, and Kaneo had to sprint to close the gap because he waited for 3 ticks. That is one of the best baits we have seen in a long time. Well, because let's be real, if he hadn't have come off that at the 3rd tick, at the exact time to give him the kill and just enough time to defuse, that would have been a round 1 for Wild.
So close. Such a narrow margin upon that one, but the question sits with me.
Defenders, protect your
Well, that was a very peculiar strategy. Very, very aggressive. Let's open reach. Let's go through. They try to get an offside plant, or at least a plant covered by Lancer's shield. Didn't work out the way they intended it, but they move. They lost a round. Falcons now get themselves a little bit of momentum, and finally they arrive on what we see is mostly the primary site on this map, and we see that Azami in the hands of O'Kills, and I'm already telling you, watch out for the Azami setup on Mezzanine. Locks on that window inside, and will likely put two around this pillar to make sure that window on Eagle is not going to be very easy to clear you from, and will be a nightmare to deal with. But he's looking for some drones. He doesn't want to let Wild know what's going on.
Yeah, and Azami, I've said it time and time again, has changed so many sites in this game. And if you are Wild and you see Azami here, well, the option is to just go for the other route. Go up Solarium windows and push the side from the other point. Leave that headache for someone else to deal with. Jay will begin opening up all the windows, pre-firing, looking for those spawn peaks, because of course that's what Team Falcons like to do. And Jay has 2 opening kills in this game already. But O'Kills, as you pointed out, is playing in this position and just going to try make it very difficult, but look where Mad Skills is as well, looking up through that hatch in case there's any sort of a push through library.
You need to be cautious of that library take. Looks like Shalod's going to get himself in the very first engagement. He'll vault on in, but the go button's being pressed by the hands of Lion. Kaneo takes an absolute mess of damage, but Q's going to be slain by Gisla. 2 minutes left in this round, but looks like Wild have no intention of taking all those 2 minutes. The case already going down the hands of Aces, and this is the Wild we expected in this competition as the case goes down, and now the retake's been triggered from the side of Falcons. What can they do now as the time it is now their worst enemy?
And the diffuser is down. Can Team Falcons get the kills that they need again in the time frame that they needed to get that diffuser or to get that case done? And nade goes off. Mad Skills will eat a chunk of damage as Jalad will begin moving up those Solarium stairs. Player on the window will force it back. Kaneo, and just like that, 3 kills in the blink of an eye, and Wild now extend that lead. And this is something that they did not have at all in the last map, was a 2-round advantage.
Well, so far it's the best they've done in the series. Congratulations to them, and that's the Wild I won. Trophy very quickly, and they kind of just pushed in with reckless abandon. So it won't be an easy time for Falcons, but they don't opt to go to that site. I think they're going to go retreat Master Ready Rockfest once again. So Wild, will they try the same thing once again, which is very rapid, very aggressive, and very on brand for them? Well, Falcons find a solution to it. Lineup-wise, the addition of the Azami has fallen away, and no kills back on the Legion must be a very comfortable role for that player.
Yeah, now with the Azami gone, the Wild push from the other side. This is what we spoke about last time. Just make all of that effort towards library completely redundant with the Solarium tech. So this time, Falcons do not have that option in place. The attacker repick comes in. So far, 3 changes with Lion, Hibana, and Sledge coming in. So once again, that Lion is so good at stalling out. And whip it. All for 4 of the members of Wild spawning over on that northern side, as it looks like they're going to once again attempt to take control of this map from the Solarium side.
I'm not surprised one bit. Not surprised a solar take is in play. Corey might be the player that's tasked with going up on towards that battering balcony, but they're going to try and get their entryway into the solar. That's going to, or in try of trophy. They'll do that for Westman. Mad Skills takes a very early source of damage, source as of right now unknown, but there's the go button pressed. They will go up the west main stairs. And clearly they're a little bit cautious about something. It's going to be the player putting pressure on here. 1 inside the kitchen and the vertical position above them as well. Beeper denied. Q takes a little bit of damage again, but Wild just being delayed on this initial push.
Yeah, and those lines of sight just causing some concern for Wild, and Falcons learning from the last round as that beeper will give them a little bit more intel. So how do Wild change what they're doing? Well, Jay will begin to push out and maybe try get up on rappel on some windows again and get those free kills. But I gotta say, I love how Falcons have delayed this attack without necessarily even firing a bullet with it.
What they've done is essentially have a good setup, and they've shown pressure, right? Pressure can be the bane of many pushes. If you just show yourself, don't get a pick or so, you can kind of change the overall play. So it looks like it's going to be a bit more of a direct push from Wild. The go button pressed once again, and they're all up inside of that library balcony. So a rotation likely going to get called, likely has been called. Have Falcons read into it? As it looks like they're still committing to that clear hold inside of Kitchen. This leaves them very vulnerable as Corey will play around these windows and be an absolute nuisance to the Demon, but he narrowly misses the player inside of master bedroom. Now he'll get a strap inside of bathroom. That will be O'Kills, who will just run away. Doesn't need to take that fight at all.
And 3 members of the Falcons have taken a bit of damage in this one already, and Corey will take down a Joker 619. Jay will use a nade for the 3rd time in this one to get another one, as O'Kills will be the next to fall. It is a 5v3, and Wild starting to take control of the map. Kaneo watching the flank in case anyone comes around, and Jalad will get aggressive on the window. The fire from the SMG-11 just hits his shoulder as he's unable to get the knock. But here comes the jump out. That's much better as him and QBZ get 2.
30 seconds, and now this round is going to explode into action. It's going to be a brawl. Kaneo going to get caught out down below. The popping up surprise as Gisela tries to help him back up his buddy. Everyone now pinned in the corner on this side by Ego. Time to push on through. But look at that. Q will be waiting for aces, and he wins the brawl and the fight. Gisela takes a mess of damage, but finds the pick. 10 seconds to get the case down, but Kaneo comes up big. A long flight from Mads. Kills now. Case goes down. Gisela uncover that pre-play C4, not even detonating in the distance, and now it's a post-plant situation. Wild, can you lock it out? Or will we see something heroic, something mad from Mad Skills? He can't waste time. He's got very little of it to work with, but he has to check his angles. Can't be too keen to get in himself into a firefight. 1 player at half full. 1 player out the windows. Creeping, crawling, looking, scanning, needs to find a way in, but he's going to walk straight into an acid surprise. The flashbang leaves him simply free. Kaneo shuts it down. A Wild fight in another round.
Well, it took a while, but eventually they got themselves back into this game. In map 2, they're getting a very good lead ahead. But it's got to be said, well, but the way that they're getting into sight and getting that diffuser down, and the fact that Kaneo understood the situation in that late round, there was only 7 or 8 seconds left, but he knew you had to kill the player behind desk. And as soon as he got it, he ran into the corner. But the work put in the early round, getting rid of that pre-placed C4 weapon, which stopped the default from going off, you got to say that was a very good round for Wild, especially when you consider they changed the plan. They were pushing up from west. They understood the situation, the fact that that's where the hold was, so they just got back on the move and pushed in the other way.
Well, that's what Wild are very good at. They see, okay, what we're doing this solar take, this ain't going to work. We don't want to lose another round, so what we're going to do, we'll take the library. And what Falcons decided to do in that round was commit a lot of pressure, a lot of presence, a lot of people down towards holding Kitchen and Trophy. That didn't work out in their favor. Unfortunately, Wild were able to essentially storm an understaffed Falcons, and they still nearly managed to claw that one back. But Wild find themselves 3 rounds to the good. Falcons really need to start moving in and trying to get more rounds on the board. Last round of the half. This is an attacker-sided map, though. That's going to be one thing I'm going to draw on.
Yeah, this is going to be 5-1. Mad Skills will get the first kill at the spawn peak onto Aces. We'll make sure that Wilder a man down. That is Doki down, one of those really annoying attacking operators to play against. But looking at the rest of the setup, they've got the Osa again. They've got themselves Lion. So many, and they've still got those operators that can hold back a defensive retake as Jay begins to push in through Big Garage. But there is Jalad getting one. Gisela trades it back out again as now it's a 3v4. The Osa shield is in place as Corey plays it, but the diffuser is down on the other side of the map. At what point do you get that case back? At what point do you rotate back to join the rest of the team on this side of the map? Well, Gisela still prone. The defenders know exactly where the diffuser is with 2 minutes left.
If eyes on it, they can lock it down. They don't need to really do a whole lot to work around it. Corey will send that smoke in. Try and buy himself an angle some time. Creeping, crawling, twisting, looking for a way in. Nothing there, nothing presenting itself. Just tapping away. But Falcons still wait. They don't need to push. The time will do all the work they need for it. Will drag WYLDE closer and closer to them. In that case being down, that's a problem that they don't want to solve. And the fact that, look at this, a long rotation all the way around. Gisa doesn't even want to walk in front of that door. That just shows the impression Falcon have led on this team. They know that they're aggressive. They'll likely just peek that. They go all the way around, trying to catch out anyone who's in a big rush. Guess what? No one's even there. Valuable seconds burned and wasted. And WYLDE, you might live to regret that one.
They will, but they're beginning to push from the side of the map again. Corey still playing in positions. The beeper just giving away. Mad Skills with the right spot. There's a spray. One player goes down. And Kaneo is now on the hunt, but the sprint away. Kaneo needs to get this kill in the 1v1 situation. Both players doing damage to each other. Q is going to get one. Kaneo pulls it back, but once more, he's in a 1v3 situation. Mad Skills clutches that one out, and it is a 4-2 attacking half for WYLDE.
Not a bad attacking half for them, but not exactly what they would have wanted. They realistically would have wanted as many rounds as possible. I think Aces would have wanted 6. But they can't get that one done, so we now leave ourselves in a position where we move on to the side swap. Falcons on the attacking side, and that tends to be the favoured one. They've struggled a little bit on their attacks, and WYLDE seemingly finding the rhythm of this matchup now, so it might be a difficult time to get themselves back in this fight, but they've got the local crowd cheering them on, so if there's any team who can do it right now, it might just be them.
One thing I love about the Falcon style of play as well is whenever they win their 1v1s and they know that there's another attacker there playing for the refrag, they're very good at going hit and run. Get the kill, fall back, and just eat up times on the clock. And whenever you get that attacker chasing you, somebody else swings from another side to shoot them in the back. They're really coordinated.
And coordination in this matchup, like this is key. Again, traits. It's a massive factor you need to be able to get in the brawl, in the fight.
10 seconds remaining.
What a matchup this has been so far. What a matchup this has been so far. Falcons get the opening match. WYLDE wake up on Chalet. Side swap arrives. Falcons now on the offensive side. Not really seeing anything that screams quirky to me. No Amarus. No nothing just yet. We saw that on Clubhouse. But maybe they're just waiting to show their hands. As Aces likely already went for spawn peek. I'm not too surprised at that one at all. You expect a lot of those in this matchup.
Well, that is something WYLDE really like to do. Jalad using, going to do some sniffing of some feet, try to work out where those attackers are, or those defenders, sorry. But now Maverick opening up windows as well. The opener comes in as Jay will take down a Joker. That's Sophia taken out on this one. But whenever you've Jackal using map, this is where the roaming game becomes a little bit more difficult, because you can roam all you like, but if you get one ping, that gives away the rough idea of where you are.
Opening pick as well, a massive factor for WYLDE. They now have control. They now have a lot more comfortability in this map around moving around. It's going to get even more worse now. Jalad falls to Aces, leaving them in a 3 versus 5. They tried for a take and it hasn't worked, so I think it's going to get time for Falcons to try and dig themselves out of this one. That might lead them to get a little bit aggressive in this play. And I think Mad Skills really wants to get himself inside of Trench. Has a drone ahead of him to do so. He'll try and work his way for that one. But WYLDE will now sit a little bit more reserved, a little bit more passive. They won't peek now. They'll wait for the time to work and Falcons to come to them.
And another drone down as we look. The only player with drones left to use is Q. 2 drones on the Maverick. Still 2 nades to use, plus 1 for O kills as well. But Corey is prone in blue. The mute jammer stopping that wall from opening in this phase. But that's going to send Maverick over. Maverick will work on getting that wall open as it's forced to these 3 players to push from one side. The smoke canister opening up to prevent the push through the door as WYLDE look to frustrate this team Falcons attack. We're inside the final minute. It's a 5v3, and as of right now, everything was very linear until it looks now like Q is going to begin to move around, and the members of the Falcons want to pinch the site.
The biggest problem right now is the fact that that player in Pillar has 3 ADSs. That's likely already reset, and Jay is going to pop up, find one. That's going to be on the mad skills, and essentially Wild will right now just show themselves right now. And, well, Corey didn't want to show that many pixels of himself. Will find himself in the observation screen. O'Kills will have to now vault in through this very, very nasty breach, but has to worry about the player inside of Pillar as well as Connector. Trying to tap away, and Ace is on a very far away island as well. Can cause some damage. 20 seconds, and well, Falcons reduced to 1 solitary player. Agisla finds that pick. Wild find yet another round. Get themselves closer and closer to claiming Chalet.
Yeah, that is now 5 rounds for Wild as they extend that lead to 3 maps. And this has map 3 written all over it. Tristan may have just cursed the home side. And as if we do eventually go towards Villa, it will be a shootout. But look, that round, Wild got the 2 opening picks with it, and they just went on full frustrate defense then, fall back to site, and force Team Falcons to find the kills.
And Falcons struggled against that, hunting down kills against a structured lineup. And I mean, when you're attacking that basement, it's not, again, not a great site defensively, but you need to clear, especially what they were trying to do, you need to clear kitchen and dining. You need that hatch, you need control. What that hatch allows you to do is to A, clear the wall on boiler very easily, clear the wall on side of fridge, and put pressure directly on Pillar, meaning that that Pillar player is really trapped in a very small lane, and we can't do a lot of movement. As Amian player wants to get up on mezzanine, and that's going to be very nasty to like to do. And look at this setup from Wild, right? Compare and contrast time. This is the depth of Wild right now. They are really going to make a complex setup that's difficult to break down. And what will Falcons do? How will Falcons adapt around this? If Wild played this perfectly, they have a very good chance of getting themselves on match point right here, right now.
Yeah, this is what they're playing for. 2 of those defenders, 3 of the defenders over by that Solarium side, with the other 2 near site. And what will the Falcons be able to do to identify what's going on? The drone work is going to begin. They don't quite have the Maverick in the back pocket to be able to push up the stairs and open up that line of sight, but they will open that option of pushing up through garage and up main stairs. There's the first kill of the game, or the round. Mad Skills takes down Aces, so it's a 5v4 situation. J-Lad will get the kill onto Jay as they now have a 5v3 numerical advantage, and they are finding those kills much, much quicker. And the Wild defense, which was very focused over by Solarium, is starting to get picked apart.
Remember when I said they played it perfectly? Oh, hello. Hello, Gisla. What a shot, what an opportunistic pick that is. But remember when I said if Wild played it perfectly, realistically should have this in the bag. Well, that opening start wasn't exactly perfect from them. However, they get 1 pick back thanks to Gisla. They find O-kills in terms of that, and now they'll go back and look at Wild. They're a little bit spread out, but the focal point is that area on top mezzanine, as well as double door by piano. Falcons have not a lot of control upstairs, if any. So it's going to be difficult as this round continues to progress, get that very important control. I think they're going to try and push themselves in from main lobby, but the case is down. And once again, I mean, this has been a theme of Falcons. Sometimes the case just ends up down in a really weird position, and O-kills is on the Yana as well. Not exactly. The operator you'd imagine would be losing the case. So early in Corey, millimeters away from finding a pick on the Q.
Q got it. No attempt whatsoever yet to recover that case. And this is something that we've seen Falcons struggle with against TSM whenever they played on Villa. The canister's going to be thrown now, which will make it even more difficult to jump in through that window, as Q now getting aggressive on the balcony. Where's that first kill? Jalad takes a lot of damage, but they know that there's only 1 player on site, but they still don't have the case.
With no case in hand, guess what? You gotta go hunting for this one, but Jalad might be able to do that one. 4 versus 2 in favor of Falcons. 4 versus 1. Kaneo all alone. 30 seconds, SMG-11 in hand, finds 1. Looks for 2. Case recovered. Can't make it 2 just yet. He's got those toxic canisters. He can burn away 30 seconds, but no! Caught out by Jalad on the Ash. Falcons get themselves around, and they stop that momentum of Wild.
And that complicated defense that Wild tried to play was picked apart in the first minute when they lost to 2 players. Once you lose vital pieces of that structure, it becomes very hard to work your way back, and they didn't need the case. We were making such a big deal about it being outside, but they backed their guns and they won it.
We were talking about this. This is the bounce back factor. They can dig themselves out of awful positions, right? Your case is down outside. You've got 40 seconds and you need to get yourself into this action, into head-to-head. And they just don't. They manage to always find it. When they get an opportunity, when Wild peak, guess what? Falcons always find a way in those high pressure moments to get that pick. And you just gotta wonder now, Falcons needed that boost. They needed that little bit of energy. Hit themselves rolling, break the momentum, and look at that attacker repick. 3 getting brought out there.
Yeah, Ace, Nomad, and Iana brought into play, and I'm interested to see how this one works out. They've got the nades once again, and you know, we were talking backstage for the game. Falcons on nades, I love it. It's either, you know, it's a bit of a roulette. The nade is either going to take out 1 or 2 members of the other team, or some of their own.
Let's just say Villa against TSM was an interesting display of the use of nades of Falcons. I think it was Joker got a few team kills with that one, but still got the job done. Still got the victory in that series. So heavy lineup in terms of nades this time. Actually, no, scrap that. I misread. Some of my eyes fail me sometimes. My apologies upon that. But 0 kills does have those 2 nades in back pocket. The honor. Ace this time has the case, so no shuffling of the who has the diffuser this time around. Kitchen dining the site for Wild, and I wonder how Falcons will begin to approach this, and it looks like a split push from Trophy site as well as Library is on the cards, but once again, the case is on a very exposed island, essentially. No one's near Mad Skills. If you lose Mad Skills early, well, now you've got to recover the case, and that becomes a whole nightmare to solve. Yeah,
and O-Kills is going to give some assistance over at that side of the map and begins working their way across. But this is a site that you gain hold from above as Mad Skills will open up that wall. Kaneo playing on site. Aces has fallen back towards Solarium, which is what we expect to see on a defense of this map. And now Falcons will begin to push. Jalad is on the window, hoping to get a pick over towards that piano side, and now a little bit more drone work again. And that's the thing about Falcons. Yes, they back themselves on 1v1s, but they do it with good intel as well.
You need to. You need to have good information to help set up that play. Oh, what a pick there from Q on the Aces. Invert repel on bathroom window. Not something you see every single day of the week. Joker will move in to try and gain control of Office and get that vertical pressure set up and established, but Falcons are running out of time. They don't have a lot of it. Yes, they got the player advantage, but they still need to get this vertical position. And look at Jay. He might be able to cause some chaos tucked away, and they've just given Gisela a rotation downstairs, and he's going to go for the run out, but no! They're watching it at this stage of the round. That's so unfortunate for the side of Wild. Corey gets 1 back at least, but problems continue to arise, but only 45 seconds for Falcons to get this execution rolling.
3v4, and Kaneo is trapped between a rock and a hard place inside Trophy, and he manages to get himself by the drone hole. The feeder exposed if the player decides to go prone, but Kaneo looking, hunting, wants to get that kill. He's going to come under fire though as Q gets that one. Still looking for another one though. Corey will fall. Kaneo still with the shotgun at the window, and they've got to the position. Kaneo, there's the double as he gets 2 down, and it is back to a 2-2. A rock and a hard place, no problem at all for Kaneo, as it's down to him and Jay. Jay sprays through, does a little bit of damage, but there is O-Kills to take him down, and Kaneo in the 1v2, but there's no case, and that is it lost as another round win for Wild.
Another situation where the case just ends up in a very, very, very awkward position. When that pick happened around the bomb chassis, I started to get worried for Wild, but they get themselves that round, they get themselves the match point. Chalet is looking much, much more favourable for them, 1 round away from getting themselves on the map number 3 of this series, and well, our analyst Tristan said this was only going to be a 2-mapper. Rogue? Remember that one?
Yeah. We're giving Tristan a lot of abuse over this last phase, but he knows that we love him. And he's been doing a great job, might I say, too. And it's great to have his insights here. But this is it. This is match point for Wild. 6-3, 1 round away from taking us all the way to Tuscany. The rolling hills of Tuscany, as I've heard you describe it so many times in the past.
Stealing my lines now? Shaking my head. Shaking my head, Gibby. How could you do that to me? But as we get into this, 3 rounds down, Falcons 1 round away from map number 3, which is, yes, a lovely trip, those rolling hills of Tuscany for Wild. Can they get themselves there? We go to the basement once again, and the setup here, well, there's not a whole lot of it.
Nah.
That wall, I'm very curious about that wall. Being left open means that angle gets very much leaves exposed, and without that reinforcement, which you do have 3 more to do, so you might still do it in this round. But one single explosive, and now you've got a massive line of sight deep inside a wine cellar. Not going to be too ideal, but the take begins, and it looks like library pressure, and that's going to be the first objective for Team Falcons.
And drones being taken down, so they know exactly where Aces is playing. And look, most people who watch Wild know where Aces will be, and wherever he is, Jay is normally somewhere nearby as both those players on the top floor. Jay will get knocked down by the piano, though, as Falcons look to claw their way back into this one. Jalad holding the pixel, trying to bait one of those defenders around the corner, not coming around, so there's that kill confirmed, and it's 4v5. But last time we were in this situation, Wild still pulled the round back. Joker just reversing, waiting for that person to jump out. It's not going to happen this time around. As we look at the rest of the push, they're inside trench now as Q gets himself up out of big garage.
They have that control. You still need to worry about Aces as well. But look how spread out Falcons are right now. Players still out by trophy. And still repelling a master bedroom window. No one is even close to that position right now. You'd imagine they'd want to drone that one out, but they seem a little bit slow and hesitant to move on down. I'm curious, it's just lacking a little bit of information. These head holes open up in this kitchen wall, the dining wall I should say, will give themselves a very good, or give a Wild a good chance of retaking dining. But Aces is on the hunt. He's lurking, he's waiting, and he's going to try and pop up later on to cause absolute scenes.
Aces has a little trick up his sleeve as he begins to rotate back. Jalad still holding top floor. Aces pushing back up. Once again, these two potentially going to go head to head, but the cutoff is being held. The ping comes through, though he knows where he is. He's going to punch the hole, and he gets his head taken off by Jalad, and that's 5-3. This is now the chance for Team Falcons to take advantage, but Gisela will still hold his ground. It's a 4v3 now. Kaneo playing by pillar, and Mad Skills looking to clear him away. Kaneo's going to take down O-Kills from that position, and he gets another. Kaneo is just a weapon here for Wild, and he has been activated as the canister will take down a Joker as well. Kaneo on the triple. Can he make it a quad? Can he send Wild through? Well, Corey will hit the button, and we are going to Villa.
Oh, it looked ropey on Clubhouse, and it looked concise on Chalet. Wild get it all the way to map number 3. Falcons look to put some pressure on, and